Yo, what it do, SRT gang? It's your boy with the fat Swaggyreacts, and we are back with another reaction video, man. And today, guys, we're gonna be checking out some more George Carlin, man. Cause y'all know we on this George Carlin journey, bruh, and it's been nothing but fun, bro. I really enjoy doing these George Carlin like reactions because I know you guys enjoy me doing these George Carlin reactions. Know what I'm saying? Like, we definitely gonna keep it going. So, like, if I haven't reacted to any George Carlin yet, of course, send me some down in the comment section or hit me up on my social media down in the description below. Like, like, that's the best way to get in contact with me because I pretty much respond to everybody. Know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to hit me up on, like, on one of the social medias. And also, like, this is George Carlin about rape, so I don't know what to expect here. Know what I'm saying? But like, we're gonna go ahead and get into this, man. Like, we're on the road to 7,000 subs. I think we're less than 50 subs away. So it'd be like greatly appreciated if you hit that sub button. Even if you don't want to hit that sub button, just share it on all your social medias, gang. So without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get into this, gang. Let's get it.
People don't like you to talk like that. Oh, some people would like to shut you up for saying those things. You know that. Lots of people, lots of groups in this country want to tell you how to talk, tell you what you can't talk about. Well, sometimes they'll say, well, you can talk about something, but you can't joke about it. Say you can't joke about something because it's not funny. Comedians run into that shit all the time. Like rape, they'll say, you can't joke about rape. Rape's not funny. I say, fuck you, I think it's hilarious. How do you like that? I can prove to you that
oh, man.
rape is funny. Picture Porky Pig raping Elmer Fudd. See, hey, why do you think they call him Porky, huh?
Oh, my God.
I know what you're going to say. Elmer was asking for it. Elmer was coming on to Porky. Porky couldn't help himself. He got a hard on. He got horny. He lost control. He went out of his mind.
Oh, Lord.
A lot of men talk like that. A lot of men think that way. They think it's the woman's fault. They like to blame the rape on the woman. Say, hey, she had it coming. She was wearing a short skirt. These guys think women ought to go to prison for being cock teasers. Don't seem fair to me. Don't seem right. But you can joke about it. I believe you can joke about anything. It all depends on how you construct the joke.
How you take it, yeah, exactly. It's basically just on like how you take it. If you take it like in line of defense, then that's what it pretty much is. But if you take it as a joking matter, then it's not that really harmless. Know what I'm saying? So, fact.
Exaggeration is what the exaggeration is, because every joke needs one exaggeration. Every joke needs one thing to be way out of proportion. Give you an example. You ever see a news story like this in the paper? Every now and then you run into a story that says some guy broke into a house, stole a lot of things, and while he was in there, he raped an 81-year-old woman.
Oh.
And I'm thinking to myself, why?
Exactly.
What the fuck kind of a social life does this guy have? I want to say, why did you do that? Well, she was coming on to me. We were dancing and I got horny.
What?
Hey, she was asking for it. She had on a tight bathrobe.
Oh,
I say, God. Jesus Christ, be a little fucking selective next time, will you? Now, speaking of rape, you know what I wonder? I wonder, is there more rape at the equator or the North Pole? These are the kind of things I think about when I'm sitting home alone and the power goes out. I wonder, is there more rape at the equator or the North Pole? I mean per capita. I know the populations are different. Most people think it's the equator. I think it's the North Pole. People think it's the equator because it's hot down there. They don't wear a lot of clothing. Guys can see women's tits. They get horny, and there's a lot of fucking going on.
Right. Especially in like Miami, Florida. Like they got, so I think in Cali too. I think they got like some nude beaches or something. Like, bro, it's crazy. I've never been to a nude beach yet. Eventually, I will. I definitely want to go. Know what I'm saying? It's just gonna be a real interesting experience. Have any one of you guys been to any nude beaches? Down in the comment section, like, let me know down, yo. Let me know that.
More rape at the equator or the North Pole? I mean per capita. I know the populations are different. Most people think it's the equator. I think it's the North Pole. People think it's the equator because it's hot down there. They don't wear a lot of clothing. Guys can see women's tits. They get horny, and there's a lot of fucking going on. That's exactly why there's less rape at the equator, because there's a lot of fucking going on.
Right.
You can tell there's a lot of fucking at the equator. Take a look at the population figures. Billions of people live near the equator. How many Eskimos we got? 30? 35? No one's getting laid at the North Pole. It's too fucking cold. Guys say to their wives, hey, tonight, honey, huh? Tonight, huh? Are you crazy? The wind chill factor is 300 below. These guys are deprived, they're horny, they're pent up. Every now and then, they bust out, they gotta rape somebody.
Oh, Lord.
Now, the biggest problem an Eskimo rapist has...
Eskimo rapist.
trying to get wet leather leggings off a woman who's kicking.
Oh, Lord.
Did you ever try to get leather pants off of someone who doesn't want to take them off? You would lose your heart on in the process.
Right.
Up at the North Pole, your dick would shrivel up like a stack of dimes. That's another thing I wonder. I wonder, does a rapist have a heart-on when he leaves the house in the morning? Or does he develop it during the day while he's walking around looking for somebody? These are the kind of thoughts that kept me out of the really good schools.
Yo.
Now I probably got the feminists all pissed off at me because I'm joking about rape.
Right.
Feminists want to control your language. Feminists want to tell you how to talk. And they're not alone. They're not alone. I'm not picking on the feminists. They got a lot of company in this country. There's a lot of groups, a lot of institutions in this country want to control your language. Tell you what you can say and what you can't say. Government wants to tell you some things you can't say because they're against the law. Or you can't say this because it's against the regulation. Or here's something you can't say because it's a secret. You can't tell him that because he's not cleared to know that. Government wants to control information and control language because that's the way you control thought. And basically that's the game they're in. Same with religion. Religion is nothing but mind control. Religion is just trying to control your mind, control your thoughts. So they're going to tell you some things you shouldn't say because they're sins. And besides telling you things you shouldn't say, religion's going to suggest to you some things you ought to be saying. Here's something you ought to say first thing when you wake up in the morning. Here's something you ought to say just before you go to sleep at night. Here's something we always say on the third Wednesday in April after the first full moon in spring at 4 o'clock when the bells ring. Religion is always suggesting things you ought to be saying. Same with political groups of all kinds. Political activists, anti-bias groups, special interest groups are going to suggest the correct political vocabulary, the way you ought to be saying things, and that's where the feminists come in. Now, as I said, I got nothing against the feminists. In fact, I happen to agree with most of the feminist philosophy I have read. I agree, for instance, that for the most part, men are vain, ignorant, greedy, brutal assholes who've just about ruined this planet.
Whoa, damn, hold on, jeez, damn, hold on, you just gonna come after us like that? That's tough. Dang, George.
Are vain, ignorant, greedy, brutal assholes who've just about ruined this
planet. Sheesh.
Who've just about ruined this planet because they're afraid someone might have a bigger dick out there somewhere. Men are basically insecure about the size of their dicks, and so they go to war over it.
Oh,
you don't have to be a political scientist or a history major to see the bigger dick foreign policy theory at work. It goes something like this. What? They had bigger dicks? Bomb them.
Oh,
and of course, the bombs and the bullets and the rockets are all shaped like dicks. I don't understand that part of it, but it is part of the equation. So I agree with that abstract, that males have pushed a technology that just about has this planet in a stranglehold. Mother Earth, raped again. Guess who? Hey, she was asking for it.
Of course.
I also happen to like it when feminists attack these fat-ass housewives who think there's nothing more to life than sitting home on the telephone, drinking coffee, watching TV, and pumping out a baby every 9 months. Will 7 be enough, Bob?
Hey, like this is what we love about George, though, man. He always just teaches us stuff, and also, bro, he's a legend, bro. He's a legend.
But what's the alternative? What's the alternative to pumping out a unit every 9 months? Pointless careerism? pointless careerism, putting on a man-tailored suit with shoulder pads and imitating all the worst behavior of men? This is the noblest thing that women can think of, to take a job in a criminal corporation that's poisoning the environment and robbing customers out of their money? This is the worthiest thing they can think of. Isn't there something nobler they could do to be helping this planet heal? You don't hear much about that from these middle-class women. I've noticed that most of these feminists are white middle-class women. They don't give a shit about black women's problems. They don't care about Latino women. All they're interested in is their own reproductive freedom and their pocketbooks. But when it comes to changing the language, I think they make some good points. Because we do think in language. And so the quality of our thoughts and ideas can only be as good as the quality of our language. So maybe some of this patriarchal shit ought to go away. I think spokesman ought to be spokesperson. I think chairman ought to be chairperson. I think mankind ought to be humankind. But they take it too far. They take themselves too seriously. They exaggerate. They want me to call that thing in the street a person hole cover. I think that's taking it a little bit too far. What would you call a ladies' man? A person's person? That would make a he-man an it person. Little kids would be afraid of the boogie person. They'd look up in the sky and see the person in the moon. Guys would say, come back here and fight like a person, and we'd all sing for It's a Jolly Good Person. That's the kind of thing you would hear on Late Night with David Letterperson. You know what I mean?
Come on, bro. Like, see what, like, he educates you every single time, bro. He educates you. He I mean, Jordan's like make you think about stuff that you normally don't think about. You know what I'm saying? But he takes it to that extra level. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we always love George, man. Always.
So I think it's an exaggeration, and I like to piss off any group that takes itself a little bit too seriously. And it does not take a lot of imagination to piss off a feminist.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is run into Now Headquarters or Ms. Magazine and say, hey, which one of you cute little cupcakes wants to come home and cook me a nice meal and give me a blowjob? Blowjob! Oh, that pisses them off.
Hell yeah.
You want to piss off a feminist? Call her a cum catcher. That'll get her attention. Ah, don't act disgusted. Don't act disgusted. Half of you are going to go home and go down on each other tonight, remember?
Oh, my God.
If you're willing to swallow cum, let's not make believe something I said is disgusting, okay?
Whoa, George. Yo, like, that was George Carlin on rape, bro. Wow, bro. Wow. Like, bruh, George is hilarious, bro. We love George every single day that we get on here and do a reaction to him. If you guys want more George Carlin, let me know down in the comment section. And also let me know by liking the video, man. So if I get a lot of likes on the video, I'll definitely be doing another George Carlin for you guys. And listen, I appreciate every single George Carlin subscriber, bro. I really do. I appreciate every single one of y'all. And I'll be back with another one in SRT gang. I'm out this thing, man. Let's get it.